Queen, Crazy Little Thing Called Love at the stroke of 9. We're streaming audio online live all across the nation. www.onecast.in, numeral 1cast.in. 94.3 on the FM band on your radio sets right here in Mumbai City. Statutory warning, only if you're not driving, you're in the backseat of a radio taxi, a chauffeur-driven car at home, at work, and you want to see some video live, we're streaming Facebook Live on facebook.com/radio1.mum. The good people from Ikigai & Co. are here. Dhruv Ghanekar, music director for Gaa. Ishitta Arun is writer, and theatre royalty in the form of Anahita Uberoi directs this wonderful play, which Kunal and Sunil Shanbag briefly mentioned yesterday. We are official radio partners at Prithvi Theatre Fest 2018, but now we shall get into the details of it.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Hello, how goes it? Dhruv, how are you?
Namaskar, good morning.
Good morning. Hello,
Good morning.
how are you?
Hi, good.
Pray, what is Ikigai?
Ikigai is your purpose for living. It's
Wow.
what makes you wake up every morning with a bounce in your feet.
Japanese.
Japanese, and there's a place in Okinawa, interestingly, there you've got the highest amount of 90-year-olds who are very healthy because they know what the Ikigai is. So Ikigai & Company is a company of like-minded people who found their calling in life.
This is very interesting. So you're saying it need not only be a platform for theatre productions.
No.
You've expanded the ambit.
Yeah.
It could be the creative arts, whatever
Absolutely,
it is.
performing arts. So for me, my Ikigai lies at the intersection of food, design and performing arts, and of course community. So that's where I'm going to be focusing my...
Lovely. And look at the times we live in when you have to sleep with the chairman of the company, Dhruv Ghanekar. For those of you who don't know, lest a Me Too movement starts yet, they're married to each other. So it's Ishitta Arun Ghanekar and it's Dhruv Ghanekar. Yeah. So let's proceed. So you're obviously thrilled about this. You know, you're such a low-key person, and I was going through I was snooping around in your Facebook profile, and you're so thrilled with the kind of cast that has come together, all the creative minds that are together on this project. Is this the most exciting thing you've done in a while, Anahita?
So actually, I'm directing a play. Even though I've been doing a lot of theatre, I'm directing after a gap of 8 years. The last play I did was produced by Shamak, which called Bombay Black, which I did at Prithvi. But so it's been a long time for me to find something that I felt I'd really love to work on as a director, and this was it. I said yes because it was a great concept, but also because it was quite daunting, to have something start from scratch, and to have the very notion of the piece is about differences. So to have very different types of people involved in the cast, from very different backgrounds, different styles of theatre. So it was all quite exciting. There was music, there's different languages. So it's been quite an exciting adventure.
And Dhruv, in that aspect, the fact that we will get into the storyboard of it a little later, but the fact that you were getting to work with so many different genres at one stretch in one theatrical piece must again be something very, very fulfilling and very challenging at the same time.
It is, but also at the same time, I kind of straddle different genres because of what I do with my advertising work and film work. So you're used to kind of doing that. But having said that, I think theatre is a completely different kettle of fish, because the singing is always done live. So that's something that we were very careful about. We didn't want to do a lip sync piece. We wanted the singing to be live, and therefore the finding the right cast took a really long time, because we wanted not only good actors but good singers to be able to perform it. But the piece actually, which is Garema, is not. It's about music, but it's not a musical. So there is a lot of music in the play, but it's not a conventional musical like a Broadway style musical.
I'm so glad you set the record straight on that one. So there's ample dialogues.
It's a play.
It's a proper play, isn't it? Okay, now Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Okay, that's next Tuesday and Wednesday, which is the 6th and the 7th. They are at the Royal Opera House. Tickets are at Book My Show. Yeah, if you can still find some though. And then immediately after that, if you're a suburbanite, you have no reason to complain, because the next 2 days, which is Thursday and Friday, they're at the Prithvi in Jew. There again, tickets at Book My Show. We are going to start running some contests on 94.3 Radio 1 starting today, later on. We're waiting for the details of that to come in. So maybe a few of you will get lucky and get couple passes. Okay, we're going to break into Dhruv Ghanekar's Fire Song.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about it before we play it.
So, before we got into actually producing the project, I was called upon to kind of start creating some music for it, which is kind of going to set the tone for.
Did you notice how he said I was called upon?
There has to be some amount of formality. Because
I'm with you on this, brother. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yes,
so I was asked to produce some music which will set the tone for the play. So one of the characters in the play is this guy who's come back from the UK. And he's sort of an Indian boy who's returned back to his roots. And this is a piece from his point of view, looking at Bombay and India through his sort of foreign lens.
Lovely. Let's do this. Back in a couple of minutes. Beautiful. Now, if you want more like that, then you have to go to the Royal Opera House and to the Prithvi Theatre. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, the first 2 days are at the ROH, and the next 2 days are at Prithvi. I'm in conversation with Dhruv Ghanekar, Ishitta Arun, and Anahita Uberoi.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
I need you to clarify something, Ishitta. I kept saying writer on a couple of occasions. That is incorrect.
Yeah, well, the story and the concept to a large extent germinated from me, but I was very fortunate to find two fantastic writers, young and spunky and just mad, who took this and flew. And there wasn't any iota in my of doubt in my head that these weren't the right guys. They just made this into what it is today. Adhir Bhatt and Siddharth Kumar, and they are the rightful owners of the title of the writers of the play. So they're fantastic.
The play is set in Dadar, is that it?
Yes.
Anahita?
Yes.
Yeah? Which to me has always been fascinating. I mean, if you look at the Hindu colony on one side, the
Correct.
Parsi colony on the other side,
Correct.
the whole milieu of it is just, and that must have been familiar territory at one level,
Yes.
but you're waiting to dive in to explore that at another level.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it took place in Dadar, and coincidentally we rehearsed in Dadar as well.
Yeah, I know, just to be like true with it.
Yeah.
I think we all have kind of roots in Dadar. So I grew up in Shivaji Park. So it's,
What are you saying?
yeah,
Wow.
the feeling is strong with this one.
Yeah, so continue.
So that coming together of different types of people, which represents Bombay or not, it's just differences, people from different walks of life and different backgrounds coming together has been the biggest high. And also I think what's been really nice is that has been used in the process as well. So we've done a lot of improv, lines that come forward from actors have been encouraged, and so it's sort of really developed in a really warm, it's a small sweet story about simple people with great dreams. So it's been quite lovely.
And I'm such an ignoramus, I had no clue that Bharti Achrekar was an accomplished classical musical singer.
That was
That
her
was,
you
that
heard.
was her voice.
Yeah,
on the
so
song.
it's fantastic. I mean, it's
She's-
unbelievable.
Yeah.
She's
And,
Manik Verma's daughter.
Yeah.
And in fact, she was very close to coming on and taking this as her profession, but chose to take acting because at that point, she chose that was a better source of income.
And you guys already knew this, obviously, which is why you cast her in
Yes,
this particular part.
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd like to just share that she was my muse. So 4 years back, there was a conversation with my mum, and she said, produce a play if you're so keen on. I kept telling my mother that, I have this view on how a play should be, and because she has a theatre company. And then she suggested, she's like, you know what, do a play and perhaps do it with Bharti Auntie. And Bharti Auntie said yes to me 4 years ago. And every year, for the lack of anything better to do, I would call her and say, hey, I just want you to know that the play will happen at some point. And every year, she would say yes, because we knew that she was a great singer. Her son and Dhruv they go along.
So we go back a long way. So her son and I were like college mates. We were guitar buddies. So we would go and hang out in his room, and do various nefarious things and play music.
And blow down the whole building society.
Exactly. So, and her Bharti auntie's mother was still alive in those days. The late Manik Verma. So there would be this atmosphere in their house of, classical music.
I can imagine.
Actually, when I was a child, I watched Bharti Bharti acted in a play that was directed by my mother, and I used to watch Bharti sing classical. Well, at that time it was more Thumri that she was singing, but she was fantastic, and I can't imagine that many years later, now I'm directing her using her voice.
Wow.
So
that's spellbinding.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all the greats, Vijaya Mehta, Manik, and it's like, every time I've gone into Shimla House for an interview, if you have to get some bites of Zakir Bhai's, I look in and say, oh, George Harrison must have sat there. Ustad Allah Khan must have sat there. It's like unbelievable. We're going to take some messages and come back in a few minutes.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
The principal crew of Ga Re Ma. It's at Prithvi Theatre Festival 2018. We're official radio partners. Tuesday and Wednesday, that's the 6th and 7th at the Royal Opera House, and Thursday and Friday, 7th and 8th at the Prithvi. Tickets are at bookmyshow.com. Dhruv Ghanekar, Ishitta Arun and Anahita Uberoi are in studio. We're streaming audio online all over the nation, www.onecast.in, numeral 1cast.in, 94.3 in the FM band on your radio sets right here in Mumbai City. And if you're not driving, statutory warning. We're Insta Live now at HRISHIK. When you think of the big voice for musicals in this country, there's only a handful of go-to people. Sunita Rao would be one of them, right?
Yes.
And she holds pride of place as far as Ga Re Ma is concerned.
Yeah, so Sunita, again, somebody I have worked with for a while, and, she became our first choice. She's also worked in theatre before.
Correct.
Again, a while back, but she's also a fantastic force. So I think having her on board became, like a really logical thing. So we contacted her, and she was on. When she heard the concept, and then she heard a few of the pieces that I had done, she pretty much
jumped at it.
Jumped at it, yeah.
So this is the story of two mothers and their children, and they couldn't be as different from each other. I mean, chalk and cheese, right?
Yes, all four characters are very different from each other, and the tool that has been used to highlight their differences is music. And you see how these differences actually cause conflict, and over time you see how music is really it really takes the story forward, and I don't want to say how it ends,
sure.
but it's the cause of conflict, and it also enables them to realize how they are probably much larger if they were to come together.
How's Danny Sura?
Sweet
fellow.
Splendid.
You're splendid.
In it. That's what.
So we know that Bharti Achrekar and Sunita Rao play the mums. So an insight into people who don't know Danny Sura. So the boys now.
So the boys, wow. That was a tough one for us, because that mix and the fit was something that we were very, very particular about, and I had a absolute clear vision. And from day one, back 4 years back, I was certain that these characters the Maharashtrians need to be from that zone. They can't be other actors trying to
pretend to be Marathi.
Yeah. So I started, and in fact, I'd like to just give a huge shout out here to the theatre fraternity who came forward and helped, because I didn't have a great know-how about Marathi actors, and I reached out to Nipun Dharmadhikari and Mohit Takalkar, and they were just forthcoming with names, and this entire thing. Milind Phatak, these guys were very accessible, and in this search of the right Prashant, we stumbled upon this Lahan little boy who's just a spark of energy. He's really the next. I'm really excited about what his future holds, because he's got this little spark happening, and we are just discovering the beginning of that.
What's
so
his
Ruturaj Shinde, thanks Dhruv for prompting me.
And the alter ego is DJ Puppy? What is
DJ
it?
Puppy.
Yeah.
DJ Puppy. Yeah, how cool is that?
So DJ Puppy, yeah.
And his mother
Danny.
couldn't be very happy with his DJ Puppy avatar. she's a sitar playing classical
Yes,
musician.
exactly. So that's their conflict, and it's really quite a bit of fun. And actually, the reason it was difficult to cast also was because even though it is a play, and that play happens to have music in it, when you're working with someone who's bringing so much to the table,
Yep.
like Dhruv, with the music, you can't fool around there and say, okay, we'll catch this actor and ask that actor to deliver somehow or the other, we'll wing it. We couldn't do that. So it was really quite a challenge. Even, getting Danny was just a stroke of luck. We were, breaking our heads over trying to get an actor who could fit that bill. And sometimes, things just happen. It was, I think, the last actor we cast,
yeah.
where, he just turned up one day. He had the Brit accent. He could rap, and he
Actually,
could act.
to be honest, he
learned
could.
a lot
He
also.
learned.
Yeah,
So he was eager to kind of come on board and take on a challenge. And the character was somebody that was very familiar to him. Yet the rap aspect was completely new. But he kind of gave in the hours and took that challenge on. And I think we're pretty.
He's nailed it.
Yeah, he's nailed it.
And the fun was that actually there was always this test. So I'd get an actor and then that
Send
actor
him to
to
me.
pass muster with Dhruv. So I would send the actor to him and then I would wait to see how Dhruv was going to react. And sometimes I'd get pretty harsh remarks. But with Danny, I remember I breathed a sigh of relief when he said, "will do."
Super. Diana King lies. We're back in a couple of minutes.
It's either silence or a comment.
Diana King lies. Anahita Uberoi Dhruv Ghanekar, Ishitta Arun here. Ga Re Ma is on at the Prithvi Theatre Festival 2018.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
So Asim Tangadi, the actor, plays multiple parts. Anahita.
Yes, Asim plays 3 roles. He plays a Panju uncle. He plays a Masterji, who's Bharati's assistant, and he also plays another character called Argya,
An advertising professional.
who is like a marketing genius, or so he thinks. And so he's delightful. He comes on like a breath of fresh air through the piece, and you've got to watch him jump from one character into another.
He's just superb.
The soundscaping for each character, have you kept it different? And obviously, I imagine there's a grand flourish at the end, because at the end of it, the play is about the unique unity that happens with all these wonderful characters. But the individual soundscaping. So Danny's character does a lot of rap.
So there are 4 pillars, so to speak. One is Bharati Achrekar's character, of course, which is rooted in Indian classical music. Then there is Sunita's character, and she's sort of represents gospel and R&B and that side, because she used to sing in church in her when she was young. And then there is Danny, who's her son, who is like this budding, aspiring rapper. And then there is Rituraj, who's Bharati Achrekar's son, who is this aspiring producer, DJ. So I think there are 4, literally 4 opposing types of music, completely diametrically opposite to each other. And the challenge really was to kind of fuse them and bring them together at the end. And they culminate into this song at the end.
Lovely. And the girl,
Yes, Zayn.
tell me about her. She's from Stella Maris College in Chennai.
She's this young spark. Like I love my crew. I mean, for every person I'd say, and each person is special in their own way. In fact, Danny and Zayn were the last guys to come on board, because we came on to Prithvi at a later stage, and the dates got moved and all of that. As a producer, we can have a huge conversation, another segment about that. But so she came on in the last moment, and she really, really breathed life into Rhea. And she's kind of, the character itself is a catalyst that propels the story further. and helps the boys kind of in their journey of discovering their voices, and in that helping their mothers rediscover their own. So it's really it's key in that sense.
Again, what I really loved about the Zen story was that I worked with Zen a couple of years ago, where she was an AD on a film that I was in. And then when someone sent me her name saying, "Have you thought about Zen?" I got so excited. So now she's on stage and I'm backstage. So it's lovely.
The theatre life, I tell you.
Yeah, lovely.
In that aspect, it calls for a very particular stage design, because
Absolutely.
I've noticed in the EPK that you sent me, Ishitta, that the DJ has his paraphernalia, which is his MacBook and his console and things like that.
Yeah.
And they all have their own compartments in terms of physical space.
Yes.
So a bit about the stage design.
So there are two aspects. There are the music related gear, which is very specific, and then there's the set design. So I'll just talk about the music related gear. It was completely in-house, but it started with an instrument, because Prashant, who's one of our lead characters, who plays Jaya's son, is a found aspiring DJ, but his medium to express himself is, of course, Logic and the computer and all, Ableton, all of this on the computer, and he kind of takes music as he sees it outside in the ambient music. So he uses an instrument called the Zoom, Yamaha Zoom, which kind of grabs all these. That was central to the character, and then we kind of started working backwards and saying, I think Dhruv would be better. I'm behaving like I'm a producer, by the way. It kind of rubs off. But so I think Dee will talk about the music gear that was used, and I think Anna will be the better person to talk about what she was
who's done
thinking.
the basic stage design?
Dhanendra Kavade, sorry. Very, very talented young designer, and he's also somebody who has he matched our zest for trying something new, coming up with ideas, So I think Anna would be in a great place to take that forward.
So Dhanendra Kaude has what's interesting about him is he's a set designer, but he's also a lighting designer, he's also a director, he's also an actor, so he has a great sense of the space of theatre. And and also he and our lighting designer Yael Krishna, they have a very good rapport. So it's really been quite exciting production design wise for all these people to come together. And even Ishitta has a background in design, and I have my needs as a director. So it was, there was a lot of discussing, a lot of arguing, a lot of, it was really exciting.
Arguing, underline arguing.
All good things come out of arguing. Argument. We're going to take some messages and come back for a last leg of conversation with these fine people. Yeah, it's Ga Re Ma. Tickets at Book My Show, Prithvi Theatre Festival 2018. Bon Jovi, have a nice day. Last leg of conversation with Anahita Uberoi Dhruv Ghanekar and Ishitta Arun, Ga Re Ma, their play under Ikigai and Co., which I find very fascinating. I've never heard of that before. The Prithvi Theatre Festival 2018.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
I just love the artwork.
Thank you.
How colourful, vibrant and trippy is it? So who's done that for you?
Thank you for asking. This is a fantastic consulting agency called Sideways, owned by Abhijit Avasti and Shonali Biani, and they're ex-O&M. They're just a fantastic team, and their designers Vrushali Harde and Nehal Lodha have kind of they were the brainchilds behind this. And what they did was they designed the kind of layout, and they gave the artwork to be done by a fantastic illustrator who's based out of Singapore. Her name is Jezreline Nathan, who's done the illustrations that you see. So this has come out of completely their kitty, and deeply grateful because they really believed in the project. They just completely dived nose in.
They basically interpreted what the project was about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cool.
And Anahita, you want to make it very clear that this is not a full-blown stage musical.
Yes,
No
that's right.
disrespect to people doing grand musicals.
No. But it's not a musical, so it's just so that the audience isn't confused at all. It's a play. There is music in it, but it is a play. It's a story, and it just so happens that we've been blessed that we've had Dhruv come in to do the music. So the music is an entity on it by itself, and it's really wonderful. But I don't want people coming in there thinking it's going to be a grand spectacle. It's a small play. It's a warm story. It's filled with heart, and it's a play.
And it's hilarious.
And it's fun.
It's hilarious.
No, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. It cuts across. It's dealing with the generation gap.
And there are no stereotypes.
And there are no
we've
stereotypes.
kind of been, I think we were very careful about, even for the musicians, to kind of showcase the process of how music is created. So
Yes.
we wanted to kind of flesh that out and present it to people, because music is one of those things that people always ask me, like, how do you do it? And I never have an answer for it.
And you just see the final product.
Yeah.
And I think for all artistic people, we always ask,
How do you arrive at that
how
sound?
do you get it there? And it's such a painful and hard process. The process itself is very boring and painful, but it's kind of, it's, I think, dramatized and satirized in such a cool and funny way.
I can
think
vouch for that.
it's going to be really funny, and it's going to be fun for all the people to watch.
And even though it's not a full-blown musical, the singing, when it comes
Singing
up,
is
is
live.
live singing.
Yes.
It's -1 track and it's live singing.
Yes.
Great. Famous last words, Ishitta.
Oh wow! Thank you to everybody. Thank you to you for having us here. Just gratitude, grateful, appreciation. I couldn't be more fortunate that we are doing Ikigai and Company's first production with so much support.
40
and
years.
add Prithvi's 40 years. My mother started her career at Prithvi in 1983 with Jetha Ujjali, and I was backstage. So for me, it's like I'm like
Coming home.
superbly coming home. Honored.
Come and watch our play.
Watch our play,
come for it.
guys.
Thank you, good people. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Bye.
Cheers.